Winter forged the Viking warrior like nothing else. Before we dive in, if you're passionate about history, survival, and skills that actually matter, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment. Let's explore how the Vikings transformed harsh winters into their ultimate training ground. The Vikings were masters of adapting to brutal conditions, and their bodies reflected it. Winter was not a time to slow down. It was the most important period for training. Life in Scandinavia demanded strength, endurance, and resilience. Snow, ice, and frozen terrain were not obstacles. They were tools for preparing for combat, raids, and survival in unpredictable conditions. Their approach was functional, highly practical, and entirely centered on readiness. They trained in the snow to build real battlefield stamina. Vikings ran, carried, and fought in deep snow, which naturally increased resistance and tested endurance. A typical training session could involve carrying logs, sacks of grain, or shields across frozen fields. The uneven surfaces of ice and snow forced the body to stabilize constantly, strengthening core muscles, improving balance, and preventing injury, exactly the way modern athletes train with weighted sleds or resistance bands. To apply this today, start with weighted walks or lunges in a snowy or slippery environment, gradually increasing distance and load. Even simply sprinting in deep snow improves cardiovascular capacity and leg power dramatically. They lifted irregular objects to mimic combat loads. There were no dumbbells or kettlebells in the Viking Age, you know. Warriors lifted stones, timber, and water barrels. These irregular weights developed functional strength far beyond what traditional gym equipment offers. Carrying a log over your shoulder, dragging a heavy stone, or swinging a tree branch actually mirrors the mechanics of wielding axes, spears, and shields. For practical application, substitute gym tools with sandbags, logs, or even heavy household objects. Performing overhead presses with a weighted sack, swinging a thick rope, or dragging a sled engages multiple muscle groups while improving grip strength, which is crucial for weapon handling. They used natural resistance to strengthen every movement. The Vikings exploited their environment for resistance training. Pulling sleds through snow, climbing icy hills, and breaking frozen ground with axes weren't just chores. They were intensive strength and endurance exercises. Snowdrifts forced high knee lifts and explosive movements. Cutting through ice or chopping wood trained shoulders, back, and forearms while keeping the heart rate up. Modern preppers and historians can replicate this by using snow or sand as natural resistance, practicing sledge drags, hill climbs, or wood chopping to combine strength, endurance, and coordination in one workout. Cold exposure sharpened mental toughness and resilience. Training in freezing temperatures did more than strengthen muscles. It hardened the mind. The Vikings conditioned themselves to tolerate discomfort, control their breathing, and maintain focus despite extreme cold. Cold exposure triggers physiological responses that increase circulation, reduce inflammation, and improve alertness. Beginners can start with brief cold showers, gradually extending the time, or short walks in winter conditions with minimal gear. Advanced enthusiasts can safely incorporate winter running, snow hiking, or ice water immersion to replicate Viking conditioning. Mental endurance developed alongside physical prowess, which proved decisive on long campaigns. They practiced combat drills in real-world conditions. Combat readiness was never, theoretical. Vikings practiced axe swings, shield blocks, and spear thrusts in the snow. Slippery terrain and uneven surfaces forced them to refine footwork, timing, and balance under realistic stress. These drills built explosive strength and agility, which was honestly critical in both hand-to-hand combat and raids. Today, reenactors and survivalists can practice weighted strikes or sparring in snow or uneven outdoor terrain to develop the same reflexive coordination, learning to fight effectively in challenging environments. Group training reinforced teamwork and strategy. Many Viking winter exercises were group-oriented. Teams carried heavy loads together, executed coordinated movements, or practiced war formations on icy fields. This fostered communication, trust, and synchronization, skills as essential as physical conditioning. Applying this today, small group workouts with cooperative lifts, obstacle courses, or snow-based team drills can replicate the same benefits, combining physical preparation with strategic collaboration. They prioritized functional recovery in natural conditions. Vikings understood that recovery was part of training. Hot baths, saunas, and warming by fires after rigorous outdoor exercise prevented frostbite, reduced soreness, and maintained performance. Cold exposure, followed by heat exposure, improved circulation and resilience. Modern survivalists can emulate this by alternating cold exposure with warming techniques like saunas or heated shelters, maximizing benefits while avoiding injury. Even simple stretching or movement in cold environments maintains mobility and readiness. Practical lessons for today's winter training. The Viking approach is adaptable. Start with snow carries, hill sprints, and natural resistance exercises. Include combat-style movements with axes or sticks, and progressively expose yourself to colder conditions to build resilience. Combine solo and group exercises to challenge both body and mind. Focus on functional strength over aesthetics. Every movement should have a direct survival or combat application. Over time, your stamina, balance, grip, and mental fortitude will mirror the conditioning that made Vikings feared in battle. Winter doesn't have to slow you down. It can make you stronger. Embracing snow, ice, and cold as part of training turns hardship into preparation, just as it did for the warriors of the North. Apply these lessons consistently, and your body, mind, and skills will be ready for any challenge the environment throws at you. If you enjoyed this guide, make sure to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, share it with fellow history buffs, like the video, and leave a comment about which Viking winter training method you're going to try first. There's a world of historical survival knowledge waiting to be unlocked, and you won't want to miss it.